back, part 4. Hello, everybody. We were going to do this a few days ago, but I've been run over, pain face. But we've just done a show as well. What, I've forgotten the name of the station.
Oh,
James Brown, Tobe Johnson.
James Brown,
yeah. So that's going to be on the 29th, I think you said, didn't I? That'll be next week.
Yours, the one interview that you did was, they put it up yesterday, were it?
Oh, did they? Is it up?
Your interview, not mine, was, but yeah.
Yeah, so, well, we talked about a couple of things on there that I don't know if we've put in there.
That's really hard.
You, Paula, you know, I mean, there's that much stuff that's happened to you. If we watch over the videos again and then you realise that you've missed something out, we'll just do a little add-on. And maybe even figure out how to glue 2 videos together at some point in time.
Maybe a software update might help.
The software in my brain.
Well, mine's kind of going diminishing somewhere. I don't know, but
yeah. Well, I think actually talking about what we've been talking about this is why I'm having a pain flare. Part of the reason.
Yeah. And probably I felt sick other night anyway, so it's like, ooh.
Yeah, a lot, and then both of us just sort of fell apart, didn't we, for a little bit? But
same time, though. Basically, 24 hours, and back to normal.
Your body remembers more than your brain. You've got your cellular memory or whatever.
You physically through it. Yeah.
It's well, we might be all like smiling about it, but actually, when we talk about it when we're on our own and it's not for the public, it can get quite emotional, can't it? Because things have basically changed our lives in ways that you just would never imagine. By changing us, it changes us. So obviously, your cat's misbehaving.
Yeah, can you tell? I'm trying not to look, but I'm like, which one is it now that's been a pain?
Molly was running around like a maniac a bit ago, so we'll see what happens with them. She's been leaping around like spring fever, isn't it? Anyway, let's get back to the Greys.
Okay.
Oh my God, and their interactions with you, which is just incredible. We got to the alien in the at the back in the back street of your house.
Yeah, the other house.
Yeah. So the next one is the 2 aliens and the drug dealers. We're going to call it.
So I think this is more like a psychic thing than. So this is the Ed near the gate when I was age 40. So now we're getting on to the 41s. I went through a stage period of time, you get so many and then it stops. And but between 38, 40, 41, 42, there are quite a few at 42. That's when I started contacting you. Get off my phone, thank you. Not you. But anyway, so with aliens at number 15, right? So when I lived at 16, which was next to my mum's old house, I'd come home from work and it was just like for the rest of 2 weeks been, not a cloud in the sky and beautiful weather. Anyway, so I comes home from work and I get changed because I wear a work uniform, and I got changed into just my normal everyday clothes. with all intention of going to sit outside before sun goes down. And I've just got changed, and something made me look out of the bedroom window. And no, sorry, this was the day after one, when I'm thinking about the car.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, confused. Let me go back a night. And right, so I goes to bed. Let's start this bit again. So I goes to bed and goes into a deep sleep, and then all I remember from that is I am floating in the middle of the street at bedroom height. I don't remember seeing my legs. Right, get off my screen again. Right, so I don't know, but I can, and I can't see you then because it cuts it off.
Oh.
So you're so pretty. So anyway, yeah. Like that. Oh God, let's get on with this. Right, anyway.
So you're floating in the midair outside your bedroom window, basically.
Bedroom window. I'm gonna go into serious mode. So I'm outside my bedroom window, floating, middle at night. I'm assuming it is. It's dark. There's nobody else about, and I can't see my body. But then there's no weight to me either. So
it's like an out body type thing,
which I've had when I was 12 anyway. But we will get back to that paranormal stuff after yeah. So I sees. I look down and I sees a grey, two little greys. I mean, these were like 4 foot, 3.5, 4 foot. And one was in the middle of the street, so I looked directly down at him, and another was stood outside. It's next door. 15 is next door.
When this is happening, you live in the house opposite where you live now, so you were looking back at where you actually live now to see your next door neighbour. Yeah.
So exactly. No, but it wasn't him. It was we're a Scouse bloke. And it were really funny. It were a driving instructor, but it were a big drug dealer as well. I can't remember his name, but I didn't know.
Say that anyway.
But I didn't know at the time. You know, like, oh, you know, he's a funny guy. We're really funny, and right, cracking sense of humour. You know, so just took it. Oh, his name was Steve. Just took it, Steve. Steve. He's a driving instructor, nothing more. You know, you can have a laugh with him. So anyway, this little one of these little kind of grey aliens kind of goes up and into next door's garden. Open, but they were walking like they were just human. You know what I mean? One of them then went to the wall. So there's one walking up the garden, and the other one is actually leaning on the wall like that, watching him go up. I don't know how, because if the 3.5, 4 foot, and the wall is about the same height as the guy, that, you know, the alien, then how's he sat there like that? And then he must have got bored and changed position, and he had his arm on wall and one arm on hip.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he's more like that. They're looking at his other little grey alien mate going up garden. And this is what baffled me, because it was really, really funny. I remember when I'm looking down, I'm floating, I'm looking at him, laughing, you know, because he just want a normal thing. You wouldn't expect that sort of thing, you know. Oh, I'll just watch me a little. And they had no. Where I'd normally say they have like where I've seen them, you know, the blue tight fitting,
like clothing, yeah,
typical grey body sort of thing, and. The first one who went up got to the gate, the door of the house. So the door is there, and we've got a wall right outside that door, just like mine, Sacha, as you know, it's right outside the door. And it's strange how he did this, because they had really extra long arms. It was, or were it my perception? I don't know. But he, as small as he was and as tall as the door is, he put his arms up, started in the middle. I can't really show you from here. So started in the middle and come down and down and down with his long fingers. And he stopped. And then he kind of went up again with that hand, across the door casing, down again to that hand. And then he did it again, up, across, down. And then where the door handle is, it kind of put his hand on. I couldn't see that much, but I could see that his hand were near the wall and the door handle, if you know. I'm not on the door handle, but more near the wall. Yeah. And then I looked at the other little grey, who's now still like that, as if to say, come on, hurry up, you know. But he was looking up and down the street like this, you know, like very bizarre. Eh? On a lookout.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, that's strange. You know what I mean? So he comes down the path. The both, it shows him what he's got. You know, he's got this. And then they walk off together. Just, well, other ones are kind of both like that, you know, a bit dodgy looking, walking off. I don't remember out after that. So now we get to the bit where I comes home from work the day after. Yeah. So gets up in the morning, goes to work, comes home, gets changed, uniform off, gets into my normal clothes, ready to go sit outside. And I just went straight to the window. I don't know why I just went to the window, you know. Sometimes you'll sit there and you'll say, oh, I'll go have a nosy out at window, but I didn't even think on them lines. Goes to the window, I sees a little red car coming up the street. Not the typical type what you'd see as a drug dealer, you know, it's just a little crappy little...
ones, the little micros.
It was a Nissan Migra, was it? Yeah. Migra, red. And it was a battered old thing. And, that's a strange car. I'll be forgetting the dream that I had the night before. Well, to me, it had no connection, so why would I think of it? And these two lads got out of this car. Now, they were fairly big built. I mean, when I say big built, I don't mean muscular. I mean quite chunky, you know. So, it made me laugh because I got out of this car and you know that film Snatch where the lad is the getaway lad and he can get in and out of car, and it's so big. It was a bit like that. So it was quite cool. It was quite comic because it got me straight to that film then, watching him trying to get in and out of this car. So he gets out, he crosses the road, they're parked at my side of the street. He crosses the road, he walks up the path. Meanwhile, number 15, still no connection with what the Greys had showed me the night before. And then the other lad gets out of the car, goes to the wall, and is like this, like this, like this, watching, looking round like this. Well, the other lad has gone to the door and he's doing exactly the same thing, but a quick, more human type of way, not, you know, it's kind of like that. And then he goes to the door. It was quick. It was quick, but it done exact same thing. Got what
he was feeling, looking for something, and he found it.
Yeah. He got it by the door and then it clicked. It clicked and I thought, they showed me this last night. And it was like, what? Is this a fucking real? What? Are you showing me drug dealers? Drug dealers. So when it got it, that's when it clicked. And I thought, oh my God. But I knew what was going to happen next. So I knew what it was going to walk down the path, show his mate, both walk off together to the car. So that's exactly what happens. So he walks down and he shows his mate. But it didn't make it like, inconspicuous. It was just out in open, and puts it in his pocket and opens the gate. Off he goes, crosses over the street to my side and gets in the little red car. How weird is that?
Well, that demonstrated to you the ability to see forward in time.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah,
take
but
that. They knew that was going to happen, so they did that. So you saw it. Oh, my bloody phone. Sorry. So they've shown you the day before something happening, you know, mimicking something. So that is, so there's like, they can see forward in time. They know what is going to happen, you know.
Because I just found it highly bizarre that why would two greys want to show me a drug deal that we're going to go on? So the day after, no, it was that night, I'd gone round to my mum's and I said, Mum, and she says, what's up with you? I says, did you see that red car outside, like between my house and yours? So she went, yeah, I saw it. She says, well, where it? I says, it was two lads. I said, I didn't mention the greys are out like that. I said, oddly enough, I said, I dreamt that last night, but I didn't want to say it involved the greys, you know what I mean? But I just said it. So I said, I think Steve's drug dealing. And she went, do you know? She says, I've always thought that. But you never discussed it between us, you know? So that were a bit weird as well, you know? Obviously, she could have said, oh, do you think Steve's a drug dealer? But I never thought about it until the Grey showed me it. And my mum said, I always thought that. that bit.
Yeah, definitely a thingy in time. A thingy in time. That's a good headline for the chapter in the book. A thingy in time. Getting down to things on a quantum level are a thingy. So, what would be next then? Because this is about the time you met me, isn't it?
Yeah. Remember the one with about the rabbits and the baby aliens with the old woman?
Oh, vaguely, yeah.
So this is another, because I have quite a few that have connections to America. I've never been. I won't even know, you know, but she was American. She looked like, do you know that cartoon, was it Tweety Pie? And the little old lady in it. When I think about it, she was a bit like, I mean, as a child, I don't ever really bother watching cartoons anyway. They didn't interest me. Mind you, TV never did.
Didn't your ex Kev say that he saw an old lady when you saw a grey?
That was the school field with the orange orb.
Yeah, but I just wondered, in my head, my brain went, oh, I wonder if it was the same old lady.
He described it as the same. He actually described it as the same as what the next one's going to be. So was she a grey? Was she, you know? But anyway, so somehow I'd gone to bed, gone to sleep, as you, but I'd ended up in, like, how can I describe it? A lodge, a wooden lodge, a wooden
cabin
house thing. I don't know, because I don't really have them here unless you go on holiday, do we?
No,
you know, don't live in them. We just, you know. So yeah, and
maybe a homestead might be called in America. Those little homestead
cabin. Don't live in them. I've no idea. But anyway, so I wanted to go. Some reason I was thinking I want to buy a rabbit. I've no reason to buy a rabbit. You know, my thing's cats. But ended up going in to this little log cabin, and there's this little American old woman, and with this really strong come on, is it? I can't do it because it's like you're taking piss out of him. You know what I mean? Doing, girl. You know, that sort of
Yeah.
right on end. So I don't know what accent it is. And she was a horrible little old woman, right? So she were only small, very small, like half size of me. And I said, "Oh, what have you got in?" And all this like wallpaper. What there were a bit of it where there was wallpaper, but there were wood behind it, and I'm thinking, why would the wallpaper on wooden panels?
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, it can't be peeling off, and it were right dilapidated and stuff. So I sees this basket on floor, and it were by a log open fire. And I says to her, "Oh, them rabbits are cute. I want a rabbit like this." So she said, "Oh, yeah, they're for sale," and like this. So, but she changed when I wanted an alien, you know what I mean? So then, but they're all white rabbits, and they've got these, but you know, like they have red eyes. They were like twice as big, you know, with these red eyes. And they were like a glowing red, not a red where they catch light or there were more, no matter what angle they looked at, these big eyes on these, because they look really strange, were red, like a glowing. And so I was like, I was laying down and I was kind of stroking a couple of them, right? And a few kept popping up, these little bald head things. And I was like, what the hell are they? Right? I thought they were baby rabbits, you know, that had just been born. No. So when and I went, I want one of them. They're so cute, but I couldn't see the face at the time. And she went, "No, you're not having one of them. Nobody's having them." And she really went nasty, you know. And so I was like, all right, you know, chill out. So that was it really. But when it actually turned round, like you know, right slow like a baby, it's like a bit slow. You know, even when babies blink, they're slow, and all their actions are slow. And when it turned round, they never like, you know what I mean? You know, these little, like little tiny little aliens. But I wouldn't even say that they were baby aliens. You know, they weren't dependent on anything because they were like moving about at their own sort of thing. But I was like, is it like that big? And I'm like, what? I want one of them. I want one of them. They were so cute. You know, I don't remember much about that, but why would I dream that? You know, just such a bizarre, you know. No, nothing else to that, but just a strange. I suppose it might fit in somewhere.
But we've got to say, for people who maybe haven't seen other videos, that you've had a hysterectomy, so there's no breeding program, whatever kind of thing going on with you. So
No,
there's, you know, it's not like you.
I did though have the total hysterectomy at age 40. So I went 41, 41, 41, 42, 42, 42, 42. So after the hysterectomy, I had a lot of experiences, and none of them involved, even before that, involved.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't just a hysterectomy, was it? You had quite a lot of cysts.
Yeah.
As well, this is quite common, this kind of health problem that women have when they find that they've got cysts all over, not just all over their ovaries, but like on their internal organs. Yours were glued together. I mean, you know, I know somebody else in the same situation. Yeah. So
I've got a stomach, and I eat
and literally, like every woman that I've talked to said that at some point in time they've been told they've had polycystic ovaries, and then all of a sudden they haven't. And I was told that. I was told I would never have children. I've got 5.
Yeah. But anyway, so after this, so yeah, I've got half a stomach. I had to have pieces cut off my kidneys because I were stuck to them as well. My large intestine, my bowel. So basically, there's a lot, and then a total hysterectomy. So there's quite a lot of bit of me missing. But they were very interested after that because it went a whole list of things that happened to me. So
yeah.
Aye. And I forgot what we're talking about.
Talked about the rabbits and the baby aliens, or the little aliens that weren't necessarily babies, but seemed baby-ish, maybe baby.
Maybe. I mean, people talk about the, like
old dolls,
little hybrid, whatever. I mean, I've never seen one, but there might have been. I don't know. There might just have been little baby aliens. I don't know. But I can't say. I have no idea. That's just a bit bizarre.
Are we getting to the Danny DeVito bit yet? Are we a few off from that?
Oh no. That's a lot way up yet. So I think before we've got to that, we've got like 10. Oh God, maybe 10, 11. I don't know to do.
Yeah. No, just we're going through it all. We're going through it all. That's the whole point of doing this.
Does it have to be in order? Because the next one is actually the Orange Globes, which we talked about on I'm going to say Special Brew. Special Brew Radio.
No, well, we have to talk about them on this, even though we've just talked about them on the other show, because this is the chronological order of all of the stuff that's happened. And this is important because this is something that was seen on the Skinwalker Ranch. And I keep saying that place is not unique. It happened, the orange blinking or like pulsing light on the Skinwalker Ranch, which opened and some sort of creature came out of it. Yeah. One orange globe on the Skinwalker Ranch, and you had 3. So it's not unique. It's not unique to that place. This stuff happens all over the place, and it's my belief that it needs a living agent, somebody like you, me, the others, somebody who's an abductee in the area. So when the neighbours come and go over years and the activity stops, I think it could be because they haven't got, an abductee or contactee, whatever you want to call it, in the locality. And yours is important. Yours is super important because it's exactly what was described. Only there was 3. Yeah. So it's important that we're not skipping over that one just because you said it the other day on another show that we did. We've got to go all again.
Then these 2 more that we forgot to mention. But anyway, so Orange Globes on Schofield. So at this time I was with Kev. In fact, the Rabbits and Baby Aliens one, I was with him also. So he has gone through a lot with me. Some of it is woke up. It's like being a dream. We both like had a dream at the same thing. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, it was horrible person, but it couldn't ever deny what we'd gone through together, And
either did he?
Sorry?
He didn't deny it either.
No. And as much as he was an asshole, it would just it never
denigrated that, especially not in front of me.
The thing is,
some stuff in my house with one of the kids, didn't he? So he was cool with it all.
And for somebody like that, then usually and generally pull up and say, "Oh, this nutter sees aliens," or this, they find your weakest, vulnerablest point, and he didn't. And I'm not sure whether he was one of us or what. I really don't know. But anyway, so I'll get back to the Orange Globe. So that time I was seeing Kev, Psycho Kev. And I'd gone to sleep and another sleep one. Bearing in mind, these are not dreams. So when I say I've gone to sleep, I know the difference. I know the difference between a dream and something that's real occurring.
Yeah.
So
Well, when they say that, but we know the difference.
we know the difference. So, and was what now not far from where I am now is a school and a primary school, and it's like how far would I say 400 yards that way. And last time I knew, it had a little brown fence, you know, the little like made out of sticks with a little bit of wire through them, you know.
Yeah.
And that were only about maybe 5 foot tall or something. So that was the last time I went there before I had to go check out if this other fence actually existed that were in the dream. So it started off basically at the other end of the alleyway, as you call it, and we were talking. Me and Kev were talking, and I don't know what we're talking about. It was dark, and as I gets to the school, I've no interest to go that way, so probably every few years that I go somewhere to go that way, but. And I looked at the fence. First thing I noticed really was the fence. And I thought, oh, they've changed school fence, which is now like 6 foot aluminium, you know, with spikes split at the top. Yeah, and 2 bars. So they've changed it to that. So that was the only time I noticed that was in the dream that I had. And as I'm walking on, I'm talking to him, but I'm also getting a peripheral vision of something we're coming towards. But next to us is like a bunch of trees, not high trees, you know, just like bushes. And as I'm getting further on, it kind of caught my eye and went, oh, look, like it's, you know, where and I'm like, what them? And we carried on walking. And there were one appeared because trees there. So it's, you know, then what that one appeared. And then the next one appeared. And the one after that appeared. So behind this fence is a slope, bit of a slope, not a deep slope, bit of a slope, goes up, and then they kind of field, they've built onto it a bit after that. So this thing was actually on the school field. And what I saw was orange globes. There wasn't reflecting any light off the grass. So where you'd get this light, it don't matter how dull it is, it'd reflect that little bit of
the light was just
even if
contained.
even if it was that little bit, you know, it would, and they didn't. And they were large. They were like 10 foot by 10 foot, and but kind of two one looked like it were behind other. So there were one there, one here, and but because this one was behind this one looks slightly smaller. So then the other one was here with a gap in between, a bit of a gap, not much, bit of a gap in between. And then we were seeing, like, we stood like in awe looking at this thing that's like 20 foot away from us. And the first one that was at this side, not them two there, this side, the centre started pulsing open really slow, but every time it were living. I'd say it were living. It was like a heartbeat, but you know, it started off this small, and then it'd get bigger, and every time it went in again, it'd come out bigger, and then bigger, and bigger, until it were a whole kind of donut shape. But the circular bit were more to the ground than centre, if that makes sense. So and then I could see its roundedness within. It kind of went like a donut, just kind of goes in and appeared. I could see through that, which I could see grass. Even though it's pitch black outside, there's none of this orange light reflecting off the grass at all. But yet through it, I could see the grass, which doesn't make any sense because I could see it was green, like you would see things if it was daylight, but it's not daylight. So I'm perfectly seeing, that I shouldn't have been able to see. And next minute, I don't remember much about that, but then this grey appeared. Now, in this entrance of this thing that's opened up, there were no swirling or anything like that. It were a solid colour, but it was alive, and but it were really tall in this open bit, and tall, thin. I couldn't see anything that they were wearing. Well, when it got to me, it was just a grey thing. But as he's coming down the hill, it seemed to be getting smaller. Whereas if you started
and then as it gets closer,
it gets the
more
opposite.
Normal. Yeah.
But the opposite way of what it should have been, because at a distance, a person looks smaller, and then as they come in closer, they're getting taller. But this was the opposite way around. So at a distance, they were really tall, but as he's getting closer, he's getting smaller, which kind of messed with my head at the start, you know what I mean? But it's like as if his stature had changed as well. So this long, tall being with long arms and long legs had now changed into it's a little grey, but more of a muscular type, childlike body, but more muscular, with the grey eyes. And it starts walking at the side of us. So he's at that side of the fence. So let's say it's a good 3 foot away from me, whereas Kevin stood at that side of me, and he's got a wall at his side anyway. So, and he's looking at me. We're all kind of walking on together. And it was just like a normal thing, tagging your child along with you, And it kind of, I went, oh, look, it's a grey. It's a little grey like this. And he went, what are you on about? What are you on about? It's a little grey. It was just, and then he went, I said, no. He went, no, it's a little old woman. I went, it's not a little old woman, it's a grey. But I could feel they don't show emotion in the face. They don't show it with a body reaction. They don't show out. But I could feel that little bit of her humour coming off it. And I've mentioned it before, where they do have slight bit of,
personality.
So yeah. I know from the other, I know that that ones that I've seen before to the one, even though they look exactly the same, some of them, I know that one I've seen before, even though the other one I've never seen before, but yet they look the same because of the energy is their personality, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah, and so we're walking on, and he's going, no, it's a little old woman, and I'm going, it's a grey like this, and it's kind of bobbling its head and walking on with us, and we get to near where the fence starts going up that way, so the school ground is actually finishing now, and this little grey turned round and he says, love you, bye. But it were telepathic. So I'm not saying by any all means that it's love and roses in this and all sparkles, because it's not at all. As much as I said love you, bye, it's still.
Well, you told me that you thought it said that because you were with him and it was basically not a happy situation. You said you felt like it was saying goodbye to you, like, and you said to me you felt like it was saying goodbye until you and him had split up.
Mm, mm.
Felt
Love you.
like it was I love you.
It was just sort of the way, because I always, when I were with him, I had a lot of things, paranormal activity going on with it. And there were a certain photo, and how he smashed that camera up, which I was gutted about. And he bought me a camera once for my birthday, but it was a control thing anyway. So, and I sat on the bed and he was being a dick. And I took this photo of him. And on this photo, I wish to this day I still had that picture. And he had blue orbs stuck all over him, like somebody had thrown a load of like Velcro at him, and there were just bright blue orbs everywhere all over him.
I remember that picture actually. Because it came with you. You showed me some photos when you were both together.
Yeah.
In the house. And when you came to my house, you had your camera.
Did I?
You showed me. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the blue balls, the orbs stuck all over him?
Like a dark blue jumper or something.
Oh?
Kev, do you have like a dark blue top on?
I don't know. But these orbs were like stuck to his head, stuck here, stuck. No. I wish I, but he smashed that camera up anyway, so along went the bloody pictures with it. And that was that really, but I think that was like a lot of stuff that I went through with him was, I believe, because he was abusive. I believe it was for me to get away from him because they were giving me hell. That was just a decent one with that, but majority of it, he was giving me hell, and they were more there than often. And
well, I was having a heavy spate of it all as well, a heavy spate of activity, which actually lasted months and months, which has never happened before, ever in my life. It's been one off and years apart.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little flurry, but this was like on and on and on and on and on. And then I met you, and you were still with him.
So you would have in that episode, I would have in mine.
I feel that how could we come together at that time when I was absolutely on ass desperate, like with the Greys, never ever had them in my past. The little sort of brownie, old looking ones. That's from being a teenager, remember?
Yeah.
But never the Greys, and it had been on and on and on and on, and I knew it, and I was shouting at them because I could feel them. I knew they were there. It's weird. I didn't know because I'd not seen them. But in the end, I just went on mad at them saying, "Why are you hiding, you chicken shit cowards?"
Yeah.
And they showed themselves to me. And then not long after that, well, actually, that was in the January, and we met in the July. But it wasn't until the May that I twigged that my kids had gone through something as well. So, and then it took me a little while to put it together that, oh my God, that was that night in January. But yeah, that was when I met you. And so I was slightly insane anyway. But I feel like we were brought together. I do. I really feel like that was, we needed each other.
So the next one on this is age 42, but from that one at the Orange Globes was age 41. My next one is 42, but I can't tell you how many month gap there is because I was born in December. So, beginning of New Year, would I have been 41 or, so I can't tell you if it's a month gap or a 12-month gap, but there you go. So, and Andrews, which we was both involved in.
Yeah.
So I shall let you start with that one.
Well, okay, because that means I have to go back a little while to 2005 when I first started talking on the forum about what had happened to us in Wales, which I won't go into because that's an epic story in itself, but UFO event in Wales. And I'd broken my leg, couldn't work, I did operations, blah, blah, blah. I was a chef, so I couldn't work. I was bored out of my mind and got a computer. First thing I did was went looking at UFOs. Ended up on a forum, UFO magazine and the World Wide Web, and started talking on there. Then I joined the UFO Data Forum, which was Russ Callahan and the old UFO magazine lot. Graham Birdsall, UFO magazine. After he died, Russ Callahan set up this UFO Data. So they had a UFO conference called the Great British UFO Show, and that was 2005 in the October. And I first started talking in the June. So I went to the conference and I met Jason Andrews, Anne Andrews, Jason's wife at that time, Danette and Paul France. I met loads of people. It was great. I was listening to Jason talk, and it was like some of the stuff he was saying was like, my mum said that I used to disappear on a night when I was a baby, and they'd find me in really weird places, like in cupboards with doors shut under blankets, things like that. They'd ransack the flat looking for me, and I'd turn up wherever, plastered up against a wall behind a double bed or something, you know, like places. So I was listening to him talk, and he was coming out with all this stuff, and I can't remember what it was saying, but anyway, I felt pretty rattled by what he'd said, because it reminded me of some of the funny stories that I'd been told about what a little monkey I was when I was little and growing up and all the rest of it. So the following year, I went to Probe conference with Vitaly Safirov, who I'd met on my forum. Well, it wasn't mine, but I was admin on the UFO magazine forum because I didn't stop talking as soon as I got on it. So I ended up being an admin. And we went and we saw Jason talking. Now, I'm on the front row, and we're upstairs in the YMCA at Lytham St Anne's. And Jason's kind of stood about 10 to 12 feet to my left, and kind of like here, he's over there. And he's just stood there with the microphone. It's not on stage or anything. It's the same level as us. The room was actually full, 2 sets of seats.
I've been to that one, but I know which one you're on about. Yeah.
Upstairs, it used to be held upstairs, and it was quite big. This one, it was quite full. So Jason stood there talking, and oh my god, my watch keeps buzzing at me. I think it's notifications. So anyway, I'm watching him, and I can see this kind of blue around him, and in my idiotic naivety of and it's all beauty, woo, like special. I thought, oh my god, I'm seeing an aura. Anyway, so I'm watching it, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but it's spiky, like, you know, and it's coming out to be quite far away from him. So it's not just like when I first saw it, it was like pulsing like this around him, very, very close to him. Got bigger and bigger. So I'm at this point, like, kind of looking, you know, looking back. Now I can still see it. But is it because I'm staring at him? Is it like, you know, when you get an imprint in your eye? Is that what it is? So I was looking away, looking back, and thinking, no, I can actually see this. Then I realised it wasn't around him; it was actually behind him.
Yeah,
so it was. Now, if you know Jason's story, he said that he allows 2 ETs in their energy form to travel in him to experience what he experiences. Yes, I know it's out there, and no, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it at first. I thought, well, I didn't know what to believe, but I thought it was a bit of a stretch. So this thing is like a big blue humanoid shape, but it's got quite a big head, and it's all spiky around the edges. It's kind of stood there like this, and it's a little bit darker here where the eyes might be, but there's no eyes. It's like a shadow projection, kind of. I don't know how to describe it, like a shadow in the air. Then I realised that there was something else in front of this blue shadow thing, and it was small. It was about 3 feet tall, and it was grey and it was glittery. It was sparkling.
Yeah.
We've had the sparkles before, haven't we, with the greys? So it was sparkling. It was like somebody got one of them glitter domes and shake it up, and it's all literally sparkly. So I'm obviously watching this by now, fascinated, and this thing starts to come out of the side of it, and it's growing out like this, like an arm, or I don't know. It didn't have an elbow. It wasn't bent. It was straight, and so it was straight out, and then the end of it kind of drooped, and a bit dropped off it, and I saw it drop straight down. It dropped straight down, 12 feet away from me, but it landed at my feet.
Yeah.
I saw it drop straight down, but it was at my
feet. Yeah.
So I'm looking at this thing, and it's like a teardrop shape with a point at me, but this is spiky as well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at this thing, and I'm looking at them over there, and I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking, have I gone mad? Can I actually see this? Am I actually seeing this? Is it my eyes? All the time I'm questioning, is it my eyes? And I'm looking away, looking back, and just trying to think, have I looked at something that's got an imprint in my eyes? So anyway, he finished the talk. I don't even know if I can remember what he said. Then I went back over to the table where we were selling UFO data magazines, and Michael Buckley was sat there, and there was a piece of paper or a little book. It was open, so there's, with the drawing of this thing with the little thing in front of it. And I said, "Who drew that?" And he said, "Vitali." And I'd actually gone with Vitali. I ended up going to Anne's and Jason's with him. It was bonkers. It was kind of a bit of an explosion between me and Vitali. Like, it was very, very intense friendship, but then it all got so weird and messed up because he obviously was the reptilians on his case that fell out. We haven't really spoken since. So that was 2006. So I go home from that conference, and I think it must be the next day. I'm laid on the bed, and I feel like someone's gone like that with the skin on my head and pulled it. No pain, just felt the movement of it. And it felt like it was all bunched up at the sides of my head here. Right? And then I felt this pushing on the top of my head. So I'd gone to bed because I was meditating at the time, because I was like doing all that, like you do, new age, blah. Because I was totally clueless, didn't have a clue. No, why would I know anything about any of this? It's just stuff that was happening. So I laid there, and I felt this pressure go through my face, through my head, and my body. It's my stomach, and I remember feeling sick and agitated and wanting to move. And it was just kind of like, just lie still. I just knew I had to lie still. So I felt this pressure go all the way through my body. And then as soon as it got to my feet, it was boom, it was gone. Feeling had gone. I was like, that's weird. Next day, later that day, it's hard to remember, I got an email from Linda. She said to me, I had a really weird experience last night, because I told my fella about what had happened and what I'd felt. And I got an email off her saying that she felt like somebody had peeled her head like an orange, and that she had this funny feeling of something pushing through her body. Yeah. So I showed it to my fellow, and he went, "Bloody hell!" Like, like totally freaked out by it. I was like, "What's that?" Just brushed it off. What can you think of like that? So it's just a weird thing. Then in 2007, in September, Paula Harris was talking for the Norfolk UFO Society, I think it was. So she had come over from America, staying at Anne Andrews. She got there the day before me. But when I got there, she was like, "I am not staying in this house another night." So me and Paul, Anne's husband, drove her to a travel lodge, checked her into the travel lodge, got back. Some weird stuff was going on with Ellis Taylor, who just turned up at this point. We'd been stuck, lost, out in the rain. What rain? It's been absolutely beautiful. What are you talking about? So, so anyway, that night I went to bed. It was the night before the conference. My mouth's drying up talking about this. So we'd all been in the living room. Like James and Lynn were there again. There was Mike Aura and Fran, his missus, James Lynn, maybe and Ellis and me, obviously Paul and Anne. Some people left. Then it was a case of right, who's sleeping in Andrew? Sorry, not Andrew's, Jason's room. So me being there, absolutely not bad, not realizing, you know. I mean, I'd seen UFOs. It was later on that I remembered seeing other stuff, but at this point, I said I'll sleep in Jason's room, so I went up to bed. And then I woke up because I felt the covers sliding off me, but it was like a sheet that was folded and it was being pulled down on the fold, so that instead of the quilt that is on the bed, it was like a sheet that was being pulled down like this. And I felt it and I heard it, and I started to come round. And as soon as I started to come round, a rubber sheet went straight over the top of me, pinned my arms in place. It sucked all of the air out of my lungs. It literally, the only thing I could move was like my legs, and I was kicking my legs. And I remember the pain because I ruptured my knee in 2002. So, and it hadn't had a reconstruction at that point. So there was pain, but it was all pain and panic. Do you know what I mean? The next thing I remember is that I felt cold on my skin, but then the cold went through my skin into my body, and it went all the way right into the middle. Like I felt my heart freeze.
Is it like a bit like the feeling of the cold? Like a bit like, have you ever had an epidural where it kind of freezes and then it kind of goes up?
No, I never had an epidural.
Well, with an epidural, you have it at the base of your spine, and it you can feel it going through your body, but it's freezing cold and it's lovely at the same time, because when you're in labour, you're red hot, you're sweating, you know, you just want ice, that's all you want, isn't it? But with this epidural, when they start the painkiller at the base of your spine, and it feels like it's going up your back, up.
No, this went through my skin and it went like in.
Yeah.
You know, like literally, it's hard to describe. But it was like I felt it go all the way through to the core of me, basically. Yeah. And the next thing was something slashed just at where the mouth was, and I took a big gulp of air. So if I'd have had time to think, I would have assumed that I'd been an idiot, gone to somebody's house on the internet, and I was being murdered. It was that bad, right? Anyone else would assume that they were being murdered if you've got that time to even think in your panic. It's just because it's just so sudden, you know. Then I was, well, this is the thing, you see, I've had some terrifying shit happen and people wonder why I'm edgy. But anyway, so I find myself in like a dentist chair.
I'm the opposite. I'm not edgy. It's like somebody come up now and go boo, and I'll just go.
Well, I'd leave a dent in the ceiling.
You know, it's weird. I'm not that. I'm used to be every moment, but now I'm just like.
Yeah. No, well, I don't know what I'd be like with it now, but you know, anyway. So I'm in a dentist chair. Like it feels like the same position as being in a dentist chair.
Yeah.
And my head's like to this side. I don't really know what's going on over here. And my arm's stretched out. I can't do it. I can't do that movement. Anyway, my arm is stretched out. It's on a tall, thin, about this wide steel table that's about that long and about that wide, and it's really tall. It's got a blue cloth on it, just like you'd expect to see in a operating theatre, you know, with the steel and the blue cloth that they have. So my arm is on the cloth on the steel table, stretched out in the way that I can't do it. I can do it with this arm, stretched out, and I can feel like needles in the tips of my fingers, like that. Not, it's all, you know.
Yeah.
And I could see like, well, look, what looked like I thought initially was a black dog, but it wasn't because it didn't have any legs, it didn't have a tail, it didn't have a body shape. It was just the
Yeah.
ball black fur, and it was
Yeah.
chomping up and down on my hand, and the hair of it was bouncing up and down like this. Now to the UK, and you can Google this advert actually. Is it what's an insurance? It's an insurance company, and they've got a little creature in the back seat, and it's called nagging doubt. And he sees it in the rearview mirror, and it's sat in the back seat. It's talking about don't have your insurance if you haven't got an insurance. You know, trying to make you feel paranoid. Anyway, so I seen that thing, and I was like, that is pretty much a bit cartoony, but pretty much exactly what I saw. Chewing on my fingers as my arm stretched out, but I think I must have been drugged because my arm looked like it was about 20 feet. It was really far. My hand was really far away, it felt.
Yeah.
Everything's blue all around me. All I can see is blue. But then there's this like machine in front of me, and it's like it comes in two parts. So you've got the bottom half, and it's got a lip that goes around it. But you just put the top on, and it would fit inside the lip. So it looks a bit like a gas meter, but big. So it's like this big, and it's on like tubular steel legs, just sort of welded to the side of it. So it's not on legs. It's you know, like between the two tubular steel squares, basically. And it's got a window in it with a black line, red line and black ink plotting a graph.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
So
Do you think that was more like of a MyLab thing, or?
No, because, well, possibly if they were working together. So I'm like that. I'm on this thing, and I'm like totally don't know what's going on. And I'm saying, help me. I'm trying to say help me, but I can't. It's just like a little whisper coming out.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to move as well. I'm trying to get up and I'm trying to talk. So I thought, stop trying to move, just concentrate. If you shout, you're in a house full of people. If you shout, somebody will hear you and they will come, and you can snap out of this funky, weird state that you're in. Because my brain's still trying to rationalize what's going on, and I'm in a house. I'm at Anne's, and I'm in the bedroom, and I'm just having a weird dream. So I shouted loud, help me. And then I don't remember anything after that until I'm standing up and I'm looking directly ahead of me. Just here, there's like in front of me, but there's like a silver pole, a bit like a pole dancing pole, about the same size as that. But there's 3 really tall light panels that go from floor to ceiling, but there's a gap in between each one, and it's just like light coming from it. There's somebody stood here, which I believe was Ellis, but I can't remember his face, so I can't say it was definitely him. But all I could see was like a skin tone. That's all I can remember, just skin tone. Somebody stood there. In front of me, there was a little girl, and she had blonde pigtails. She had a little dress on with a collar type thing and a band that went around here, and it kind of puffed out a little bit, a little puffy sleeved dress with little dotted flowers.
Doll, sort of.
Really old-fashioned looking dress, to be fair. It wasn't anything like it, but a similar kind of style to one that my grandma made in the 70s for my 6th birthday. It was like, you know, when they have the party dresses with a little sash that comes around just on here, like that. She had a doll or a teddy, can't really remember what. She had something in her arms. So behind her is this giant blue set of shoulders and spine. I can see the bumps of the bone in the spine, and this thing is enormous, and it's blue. It's muscle. It's all muscle, and it's like blue, and I can't see head at all. It's like it's forward like this. So I've got a little girl. I had a little girl who was about 7 at the time. So this little girl looked about the same age as my daughter. And so I kind of just took a few steps forward to grab her, to get her away, to pull her away from the thing, like a motherly instinct kind of thing. And as I got right up to her, her face changed completely. So the eyes were bright gold, really like gold, and the pupils were round, and they went like that. When I got really close up to it, and it was like it got a kick out of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seeing me realise, and as it grinned, all the skin bunched up here behind the ears, and it had this like kind of mouth that came out like that, like a type thing, and all its teeth were about this long, about that wide, all completely uniform all the way around. No saliva, no slime, no nothing, completely dry like old bone, top and bottom. And obviously I just took a few steps back and looked like this at whoever it was that was there, which I'm pretty sure was Ellis.
Yeah.
The next morning I wake up and I'm thinking, something's happened to me. Something's happened to me. I know that wasn't, you know, and I remembered it all. And then I heard somebody go to the toilet. As soon as I heard the flush, I was out of that bedroom door and like a lunatic came barreling out at Ellis, who was stood there just in his boxer shorts, bless him. And he was just like, what? So, oh my God, something's happened, you know, and I'm like wild woman of Wonga. My hair was totally bright red at the time, like pillar box red. Boing. Like, it was so, it was mad on the morning with my hair. Anyway, so I come running at him like that out of Jason's bedroom. So we go downstairs, make a coffee, sat talking in the living room. And he said that he'd been laid there and the bottle of wine that we'd been drinking the night before moved across the table by itself. Well, we have paranormal stuff, don't we? We just kind of go, and like, try and tune it out and not freak out. But then, so I told him what had happened, and I said about the black dog, and he went, oh, black dogs. He said, I remember now. He said, I was stood out the back where you go through Anne's kitchen, there's back door, back to the side of the house where the paddock is. He was stood there, and he said, he looked down and he had black dog licking and chewing his fingers, just chewing my fingers. I can't remember all of what happened to him. Huh?
Are those the black dogs that you're on about? Because the ball things, the black fluffy, spiky sort of. Are they the same I've seen?
In the book, Jason, my indigo child, or walking between worlds. I think that's what it's called. He used to call them when he was a kid fuzzy koalas. Didn't know how to describe them. Yeah. Because they're kind of indistinct. They're just like a ball of in hair, basically, with little black eyes and mouths are black. So he's got this like red squares on his chest here, like a like a burn. Yeah. Anyway, so we've all got to get our heads together. We've got to go off. And everyone's like, oh, Sacha's had something happen. Oh, have you? Oh, yeah, have you? Oh, a bit mental, told them about it. Oh, my God, all that, you know. Everyone's busy. We're putting on a conference. So we all had to ship off out of the house pretty early in the morning, get to this building. Paula's doing a talk. Halfway through, we have a break. So I've smoked cigs then. And so I sat outside Jason and Jackie smoking a cig at the table where they'd been taking money to go in. And I noticed that I had all these marks, puncture marks on the backs of my hand, all with bruises. It was like 1, 2, 3, then one there, and then one there, and one there, and then one there, right? And I was like, oh my God, what's that? I thought, maybe I've done it on the train, you know, lifting my case about or whatever. And then Mum rings me and she goes, I just had to ring you because I had this terrible dream last night. She said you were laid on the sofa and you were like, you had like cling film over you, or like you were sweating or something, mumbling. She was furious because she thought I'd been doing drugs again. Because obviously after the thing in Wales, I didn't want to go to sleep ever, so I started taking speed and staying awake all night. So she thought, you know, I'm mumbling away and I'm on this sofa. She said that she could see me on the sofa and I was mumbling away, and we were in a house. She said, but the windows were really high up. Didn't make any sense why the windows would be up there. Then there was a knock on the door. So she opened the door and the man with the big black hat walked in and a coat, and he was with another She said another man whose skin was bright blue and it was so wrinkly, it looked like it was knitted. She said that my other son was there, my eldest. She said he was sat on this steel table. She says he just looked at me like completely blank, like he didn't know who I was, jumped off and vanished like that. She says, and then the man with the black hat and the blue man was stood in the corner and they were having a conversation about me. Now, while I'd been in that chair, I could hear two men talking, but I couldn't work out what they were saying. They were just kind of talking, you know, like in the just over to my right. But I couldn't, you know, I couldn't move my head because I was just messed up. So that was that really. It was like, well, she just had a dream about pretty much everything that had happened in a, you know, in a sort of collective way. So obviously, you know, Jason was 12 when the family first started talking about this, and he got a lot of creepy followers, and he had death threats and things like that, and some really horrible shit go on. Like, you know, they chase us off the scene. We all get abused to the point where we will not talk ever again. I've made a different stuff. You're made a different stuff. Well, how many people do we know that just will not talk because they can't bother with the abuse and defending themselves all the time to these nobodies? So anyway, Jason wasn't very well, and Anna got in touch with me. Oh God, there's so much to go. I'm missing out a huge bit of weird psychic stuff here, but because we want to talk about you. So Jason's not well. I go down there. Ellis is there. We go in. We see him. He's not very well. Then we go back down again. But this time, I'm going, and you want to come. So I'm saying to you, Paula, I cannot guarantee you safety. That house is weird as shit. It's weirder than shit. It's weirder than shit covered fish. Excuse my French, but I can't. I'm sorry, Anne, as well. But you know, like, that house is like, it's marked. So I said to you, you have to really consider what you're doing, because I can't. Something might happen, you know. But I was also thinking, what's the likelihood of it happening again?
Well, I thought, what's the likelihood of it me happening? When we always, as an example, we always look at somebody else's experience as more horrific than his own. We're like, what? You know, but I can tell my own, and it just flows out. You know, and you're probably, oh my God, you know, and so to me, I thought, oh, it won't happen to me, because Jason sounds horrible.
It messed up my head, and I was like trying to impart that to you, what, you know, what a horrible, horrific, frightening, so traumatic. And I didn't, for about a year, my head was messed for about a year, like, so chronically forgetful. I'd stand up and immediately, I don't know why I've stood up, you know, it was like that for ages. I had a notebook and I used to write like whatever it was that I was going to do when I got up. It was that bad. So you know, like, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to go and make myself some food, or I'm going to go and make myself a cup of tea, or, you know, like, whatever. So anyway, you said you wanted to come, so we went. And
I don't regret it. It's just, I don't regret it, because it was just, not that I like the experiences, but it's just another experience to add on, you know. Right, anyway, so we goes down there, don't we? And we had no missing time bits in between that time. We got there
in time. We've never had any missing time.
When my daughter decided to lose her bloody door key.
Oh yeah. You'll have to come. I'm locked out. It's like, we're in Nottingham. I'm not going home.
F off. Put door through and then I'll fix it when I get back. So anyway, so I really believe that no had happened to me, because that house is connected to Jason, and as that's it as far as I'm concerned. So if it was going to happen, it's going to happen to him or his mum or whatever, you know. So we'd gone down there, and I don't remember much. I just remember walking in the door, and I'm just saying, oh yeah, and I see this figure of a movement in the other door bit there, and it were, what's his name?
Paul. Paul with cups of tea, I think.
Because I just
screamed at the top of your voice.
Pizza box. He went on like with pizza box.
This is Paul.
It's just so weird. Why didn't I look at my surroundings? You know, it was just.
You're already on
And I just see this slight movement, and I went, ah, you know. Poor Paul. Sorry, Paul. But yeah, and then do you know what? We'd all sat downstairs. Now, this is where I'm getting confused again. Was it the night that I was sat in that chair and that thing come through me now? So we are there, aren't we? Was that the same night as we slept?
Right, yeah, but it started off in the kitchen. And you started freaking out because you said when you looked at your feet, they looked like long and grey. And then James was like kind of trying to whatever with you. And then we ended up in the living room. But I went to the toilet. And then when I came downstairs and I walked in that room, that energy in that room, I don't know what happened. I just looked around and I went, and I walked and I stopped in the middle of the room again and looked around at everybody. And then I just walked back into the office, back through the kitchen, around into the hall, straight up the steps, and got into bed in the dark. Last time I'd been, that happened. So I'm in there and I've gone to sleep in the dark in that room while all this is going off downstairs. Sorry, that's not right. And I don't feel comfortable about that bit.
Right, listen, you seem to be kind of breaking up a bit and your movement.
It'll be all right on the
5-minute timeout and make a brew, and then we can get back into that bit then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.